my computer just kind of glitched out, lost its internet signal, and I had to reboot and then scan and so it was about 30 minutes ago when I finished my part 2. This computer that I'm using I really dislike. It's just really annoying me. But I did make some tea, and I would like to share. So, nice little saucepan. Comes with a nice little spoon. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to share to you that the other side of the cup says Queen of the World on it. I'm not going to show you that because that would be embarrassing. Hold on. Let me drink my tea. Anybody put milk in their tea? I don't. Can you see it? Of course you can't see it. I don't have enough in there. You go. You kind of see it. It's just black and green tea. What's your favorite tea? Comment below. Oh yeah, I got to show you this. So at work they were throwing away this tile, ceramic tile, and I took it. It broke in half. It's 2 pieces. And I took it, and this is 1/2 of the piece. A little ceramic tile. There you go. Black oak. But I took it, and they were like, "What do you want it for?" And I said, "That's going to be where my teapot sits now." So I have a teapot sitting on that nice black ceramic tile. Okay, so we're going to try this again. I was like 3 minutes into the last one when my computer screwed up. So let's get into the video. And yes, I actually shared everything about the teapot and the ceramic thing on the last one. Back to the video. Or start the video. $960 tanks. That's a lot of tanks, by the way.
The Israelis suffered heavy casualties all day. By the end of the day, Israel was facing catastrophe. Israelis had believed that once their army was in place, they would be victorious. Now they had to face the shocking truth that this hadn't happened. Prime Minister Meir sent an urgent request to the Americans, begging them to resupply the country.
Justifiably called the airlift that saved Israel.
The Americans had responded to Prime Minister Meir's request for resupplies. For days, American planes arrived in Israel with huge numbers of tanks, shells, and new planes. Israel was in a much stronger position.
Israel had been able to divert troops to the Syrian front because the Egyptian army had halted. Syria's President Assad demanded to know why the Egyptians were not advancing through the Sinai, as agreed.
The president kept phoning Sadat and insisting, "This is not what we agreed." Sadat never gave him a straight answer.
Syria appealed over Sadat's head to the Soviet Union, still Egypt's patron. The Soviet Prime Minister came to Cairo to sort things out.
Prime Minister Kosygin kept asking Sadat why his forces had stopped without taking the Sinai. He was infuriated by Sadat's answers.
President Sadat yielded to Soviet pressure and gave the order to advance, much to the dismay of his chief of staff.
Now, he drew up battle plans for what they did, That was all they wanted to do. But he told Syria they would go the rest of the, is it called the Sinai? That S word. They were going to go the rest of that. Stupid question here, but didn't they ever expect that the Syrians would... I'm not backing up. Okay, we're safe. Whatever it was is gone. My neighbors are working. And it's really nice outside, so I got the window open. Didn't they ever figure that Syria would know that they didn't follow through with what they were doing? They had to have known that it would come to that. I don't think they expected Syria would contact what the hell's happening? I don't think they ever expected Syria would go to Russia. But yeah, they did draw battle plans. They kind of faked Syria out. So what did they think the repercussions of that would be when Syria found out? They're lucky Syria didn't pull out, so then all the attention could have been on Egypt. Maybe not, I don't know.
It was doomed to failure from the start. Israel's Air Force was much stronger than ours.
Now the war began to swing Israel's way.
Is this one of the last, I don't want to say great tank battles, but because there's a ton of tanks here, 900 to 400, is this kind of like one of the last real tank wars that kind of happened, or wars that used tanks instead of, smart bombs and stuff like that? Let me know, because it seems like it would have been.
In 3 hours, 250 Egyptian tanks were destroyed. But Egypt still had 2 armies in the Sinai. The Israelis planned a daring coup. They set out to cut through the gap in the Egyptian lines, create a bridgehead over the canal, and sweep around to isolate the Egyptian Third Army. The architect of the plan was General Ariel Sharon.
We slipped through the Egyptian lines without major problems.
I want to apologize earlier. I called him Ariel Sharon. I guess Ariel is the character from Little Mermaids? Ariel. My apologies.
But when we reached the canal, there was a ferocious battle.
It was a terrible night. I think that night we lost, from my division, about 300 killed and around 1,000 wounded. And all of us, from soldiers to the divisional commander, we all were fighting there. It was maybe the most terrible night I've ever seen.
Eventually, at 1 in the morning, the paratroopers crossed to the other side in dinghies.
The next day, Israeli forces raced across the canal to secure their bridgehead.
I was at the canal. I could see the tanks crossing and the trees on the other side.
The Israelis crossed the canal, and about 24 hours later, we got a message from Brezhnev inviting me to come to Moscow.
We thought Kissinger's visit to Moscow would be useful. He could help us stop the conflict.
We thought it.
TikTok made me do it. If you use TikTok, you...
Sorry, that ad came out of nowhere. Really? Come on. You know how many times I've blocked those ads? I'm not even kidding you. I have blocked, and I like Umzu products. I've blocked probably 60 of the YouTube ads, and yet I'll get the same ad for a product I just blocked, but it's a different commercial. Oh, it's really annoying me. I'll burn YouTube to the ground. Don't tell them I said that, though.
Give the Israelis more time if I went to Moscow, because nothing could happen until I got there. While I was in the air, Nixon sent a message directly to Brezhnev saying that I was fully authorized to conclude, but I frankly wanted to stall.
The Soviets were in such a hurry to end the fighting that General Secretary Brezhnev led the talks with Kissinger himself.
He insisted that the advance be stopped. In return, Kissinger wanted the Arabs to recognize Israel's right to exist.
What we said was that there should be direct negotiations at some point between the Arabs and Israel. I told Brezhnev I would carefully communicate everything he said to Washington, but that there had to be some time interval so that I could get the president's views. And he said, no, here's a message. And he gave me power of attorney, that, in effect, power of attorney that the president had given me, which did not thrill me.
The Secretary of State realized he could stall no longer. While still in Moscow, he agreed to terms for a ceasefire.
Isn't it kind of weird that it's always outside countries that have to agree to a ceasefire, and then they like hand it down to everyone, like all the parties, and they're just like, okay, look, we who weren't involved have agreed to a ceasefire that now you have to honor. It always, and that happens frequently on different things, but it just makes me giggle. But you know, I understand why they'd have to do it. But man, if you're Kissinger and you're going over there thinking you're just supposed to stall, and the president does that behind your back, no, he has full authority to negotiate, and you get there and then you hear that, oh, you'd have to check though. You can't just take that person's word, you know what I mean? You can't just, oh, well, if he says I have full autonomy, is that the right word? Full, yep, whatever the word is, I have full, insert word here, authority, that's what the word. Just start the video and shut up, Kris.
22nd of October. The Israelis agreed to the ceasefire as well, but in reality ignored it and pushed on south to secure more land west of the canal.
All right. I kind of blocked it.
It's the smiles we put on your face with every meal made just for you.
Yeah, sure you did, Kris. Good job. Good job. Oh no, I went somewhere else. Okay, so we'll have to go back to the fourth video. All right. Oh my goodness. Why can't you just work, mouse? What am I asking you to do? Not the impossible. You got 2 buttons and a little roller. I'm just, when I click on it, I expect you to work. Oh, I will murder you. I hate this thing. You guys saw that. That little infrared dot it put on my forehead. It was threatening to kill me. Thing's a sniper. Okay. So we're going to end this here. Gold in my ear. Matriarch of Israel documentary. The People's Profile. Interesting. Okay. We're ending this here. There's a thanks button. You know the routine. You can donate to the channel. Anything's appreciated. You can have me react to things. It moves to the top of the list. If not, you can still ask me to react to things. It just takes a little bit longer. You can subscribe to the channel. That helps. Give a thumbs up. That really helps. Give a thumbs down. And I will be feeding you toxic pond water in the form of an enema. And I've got some. I'll take it with me. I'll go to your house. And you'll be force-fed toxic pond water right through the old butt cavity. So, you don't want that to happen. Neither do I. So we're going to end it here. Have a good day. Have a good night.